Welcome to Kidmissing TV. I am your host, Angelina Wilson. Whoops. I am not doing a poster today because I don't know that I can get pictures of all four of the victims in this case. Four girls, but I counted five, missing and murdered in Cincinnati, Ohio in the 1920s. I like to highlight these cases in 1930s because we often think that this is a thing over the last 40 years since the 80s, but it really isn't. Okay. First is Miriam McLean. Was kidnapped and murdered at the age of 6 on the 22nd of December, 1931, in Cincinnati. Okay. She was kidnapped on the 17th and her body was found on the 22nd. Oh my God. When she was found at 428 12th Street in Cincinnati, police officers saw two tear tracks on Miriam's cheeks. She had suffered before she died of shock and hemorrhages. I just have to take a moment of silence. You could see the tracks of her tears. That's wow. Every one of those cops must have broken down. Her father was to be flown in by National Airlines from Phoenix to Covington, where the funeral was, to make it in time for the funeral. Okay, there were some articles in the Seymour Tribune in Indiana, which is right next door. But it was the 87th anniversary, and they got the date of birth a little bit wrong. They do not know who killed her to this day. Now, the largest search for a missing child in the city's history, because she went missing like 4 days before Christmas. No, 3 days before Christmas. The last thing she said to her mother, "I love you, Mother. Will you see that old Santa Claus brings me all kinds of toys?" And of course, they blame gypsies. One of the newspapers put out a $1,000 reward. They said Marion McLean must be reunited with her family before Christmas Day dawns on Cincinnati. 4,000 Boy Scouts. Over 100 firefighters would perform basement attic searches of all the homes. It was insane. Oh my God. Her little body, ravished by a merciless and depraved fiend, this is a quote from a newspaper, was revealed by the rays of a tallow candle in the hands of Charles Bischoff, 45 years old, who had gone to the cellar of his home to get kindling wood and discovered the body. He was not immediately named as a suspect, but he was taken into custody. They say he confessed, but the building was finally torn down in 1977. It had been abandoned because he was in jail, unfortunately. Excuse me. Her parents had been long separated and would soon be divorced, but they sat together and cried together, which is amazing. Because there was no blood, she had to have been murdered somewhere else. Now, someone could have gotten into the basement pretty easily. Ooh, that would never go over today. You have to charge within 72 hours today or let the person go. He was in jail 20 days without charges. Okay. The cop grabbed him, said he was Miriam's relative, locked the other cops in another room, took him to the basement, said he was Miriam's relative. He had a revolver, and yeah. So he said, all right, I killed her. And then they made it like they beat up the guy so that, again, he would talk. And so he gave basically a false confession. They were praised for that ruse. I don't praise them. I think it was absolutely horrible and horrific. So he was sent to the state hospital in Lima, Ohio. Maybe he didn't have one. They're in Cincinnati. So he was sent to the state hospital in Lima, where he stayed for the rest of his life. Do I think he did it? No, I don't. Actually, you can't take that confession. I mean, without a heavy grain of salt, or pinch of salt, as the English say. The next victim was Elizabeth Nolte. Actually, these are not in order because she died in 1915 at the age of 10. But they were over a certain year's period of time. Her throat was slashed ear to ear, her body wrapped in a sheet, placed in a garbage receptacle in the tenement district. And of course she had been killed elsewhere. You think? She was in a garbage can. The next one is Frida Hornberger. Frida was last seen on August 21st, 1919, after she was sent by her mother to the bakery in Cincinnati. A 12-year-old friend claimed to have seen Frida at 2:30 at the corner of Central and Wade. At the time, a man was urging Frida to follow him. Her body's never been found. Emily Gump, 1919, 18 November 1919. She was born in 1910, but they don't have a birth year, so they don't know whether she was 8 or had turned 9 yet. But then, in the newspaper, it says she was 9, so. She disappeared after leaving her home at number 257 McMicken Avenue. Her mother said she left to attend an entertainment at church. She reportedly was seen at the church playing with 2 other children and then married. Okay, I have some articles, but I cannot read what I printed because it's too small. Anyway, this is, I found Elizabeth Nolte's report from the morgue. It says morgue, Hamilton County, Elizabeth Nolte, age 11, from condition of body, hands, something. Okay. At the time that she died, the newspaper said, a man who is to be tried on a charge of improper conduct, yeah, read between the lines there, tomorrow, against whom the girl was to be the principal witness, has been arrested. He denies all charges of the crime. I thought there were 5, but anyway. I'm glad that didn't go as long as I thought it was going to. So 2 were murdered and 2 are still missing. Do I think they're all related? I think the ones in the 19-teens could potentially be related. But it's hard to know when you don't have bodies of 2 of them. I don't think the one from 1925 is related to the other ones. I mean, it's a possibility she could be related to one of them, so never say never. But, yeah. So thank you so much for joining me. God bless you. Have a wonderful rest of your day. I wish I had more about each little girl, but I didn't. That's why I combined them. And because in doing research, they're combined with each other. So if I find any more information, you know I'll bring it to you in updates. Please subscribe. We're trying to get to 500 subscribers by the 4th of July. Excuse me. God bless you. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you Wednesday.